During the year when steam floated above muddy fields and voices traveled slow through heavy trees, a quiet town stood deep within the southern wetlands. Branches leaned low as if hiding secrets. The sky often remained gray, and the sun rarely warmed the ground. People whispered stories, but none louder than the one hidden beneath the smoke. This tale never reached libraries or sermons. It lived in shivers inside bones, passed from one mouth to another behind closed windows. It was about two sisters, known for their kindness and their generosity, who offered help without asking for anything. They lived in a place where meat never disappeared, where the fire never rested, and where hunger found satisfaction without question. Their names were Ullei and Maybel Tibido. The elder sister moved with grace, always appearing composed. The younger one remained soft-spoken, her hands never clean, her eyes never loud. Together, they owned a building with darkened walls, sitting behind their white cottage, known simply as the smokehouse. No one in Cypress Hollow understood why food remained available when the rains destroyed crops and sickness removed livestock. Everyone accepted the meat wrapped in cloth, the pots filled with hot broth, the ribs falling from bone with every bite. People thanked them. People smiled. No one asked what animal had been cooked. The town had no cattle left. The chickens vanished months ago. Wild animals avoided traps. Even deer stayed away. Yet every evening, the wind brought the smell of roasted spices, and smoke curled into the sky. The Tibido sisters claimed their cousin sent supplies from the northern woods. Others believed they raised creatures deep in the trees where nobody dared walk. Maybel rarely left home, her apron stained with color. She stirred stew for gatherings, slicing meat with careful hands. Children named her Quiet Butcher, though none dared say it aloud when near. Ullei carried wrapped portions through the village, offering meals without accepting coins, only requesting thoughts and prayers in return. Strangers often passed through Cypress Hollow. Most stayed a night or two. Many accepted shelter from the Tibido home. None returned. A man from the trading post never collected his wagon. A traveler's cart floated away without its owner. Yet, nobody worried. They assumed each person moved along. After all, food remained. Father Henry arrived one spring, new to the church, full of purpose. Young, sincere, and hopeful, he walked among the people offering blessings and guidance. But slowly, discomfort grew inside him. Too many visitors disappeared. Too many meals appeared without explanation. When asked about suppliers, the sisters only smiled. The priest began noticing patterns. His book showed names of guests who arrived but never left, 6 missing within 4 months. His questions brought silence. Nobody wanted to consider the answers. A boy named Jacques often wandered alone. He had quick feet and questions nobody enjoyed answering. He once followed the smoke and found himself behind the Tibido home. Through the wall of the smokehouse, he saw something hanging from a hook, not an animal. A man, opened and steaming. His skin pulled in lines, his blood collected in a metal container. Jacques ran home, speaking fast, trembling, eyes wide. His father, angry from drink, struck him and told him to stop lying. That night, the boy vanished, shoes untouched, door still locked. No one heard his footsteps. The town believed he ran away. Only Father Henry knew otherwise. The priest sat at his desk, reviewing names. He visited the boy's family. He asked where the child said he had gone. The father mentioned the smokehouse. That answer changed everything. Soon after, the priest approached the sisters. He mentioned the child. Ullei remained calm. She said the boy often invented stories. Maybel stayed silent, her eyes low. The conversation ended, but something between them shifted. 2 days later, Someone found the boy's belongings hidden. In swamp reeds, a toy soldier, a stained cloth, a slingshot. Nobody seemed surprised. The sheriff dismissed the evidence. The priest stayed quiet. He began praying harder. One night, Father Henry stepped into the sisters' home while they visited. The market. He found everything clean, peaceful, organized. He searched room after room. No trapdoor in the cottage. No blood beneath the walls. Then he noticed a space under the rocking chair in Maybel's room. Beneath the floor, he found a small book, wrapped in leather. Inside the book were names, dozens, each followed by a sentence. Some mentioned age, some noted flavor, some marked softness. Each page described a person, not an ingredient, not a recipe. A life. One name read, Chuck Law Rowe, September 1854. Curious, too lean, but sweet and quiet. Did not struggle. They. Priest closed the book, shaking, breath shallow. He showed the journal to the retired reverend. The older man found his nephew's name among the entries. Tears filled his eyes. He once believed the boy had drowned. The truth was far worse. Word began spreading through the town. Quiet conversations in corners. Mothers whispered to one another. Men stared at the smokehouse, unsure. But nobody confronted the sisters. Not yet. Next morning, a gift waited on the church steps. Wrapped in paper, tied with ribbon, placed carefully. On top sat a button. White, round, familiar. The priest burned it without speaking. The smokehouse continued operating. Harvest season came. Food became scarce elsewhere. In Cypress Hollow, stew still boiled. People gathered behind the chapel, sharing bread and stories. The main meal, as always, arrived from the sisters. This time, a woman bit into something hard. She spat into her palm. A button, bone-colored, shaped like one Father Henry had seen. Before, he stood. He said 4 words. This is not beef. Silence followed. Faces turned, eyes blinked. A few stepped away from their plates. Others remained still. He continued, mentioning the book. The names, the missing child, the truth inside every bowl. The mayor stood and defended the sisters. Others followed. They spoke about generosity, about kindness, about the meals that kept them alive. Ullei appeared calm, Maybel quiet. Both looked wounded, not guilty. The people chose disbelief. They rejected the truth. Because accepting, it meant accepting what they had eaten. The priest walked away. He waited 3 days. He watched their patterns. He studied the paths through the trees. Then he returned wearing torn clothes, covered in dust, carrying nothing but a false name. He knocked on the sister's door. He asked for food, a place to rest. They let him in. The tea they served was sweet. His vision blurred, but he stayed awake. He listened as they spoke about preparation. One mentioned flavor. One whispered about softness. He waited. He let them move closer. Then he acted. He pushed them back, escaped, and ran toward the back building. Inside, he found tools, buckets, chains, hooks. The smell was not rotten. It was clean, organized, precise. He struck a match. The flames grew fast. The fire reached every corner. The walls cracked. Screens rose. Smoke filled the night. The town gathered. They watched the building collapse. They did not speak. In the morning, blackened bones appeared through the ashes. A ring surfaced, once owned by someone gone 13 years. A button. A shoe. A name whispered again after silence. Graves were dug, crosses planted, but the count grew too high. More bones than names, more sorrow than understanding. Among the remains, A wooden box remained untouched. Inside, trinkets, tokens, reminders. Each piece once belonged to someone never seen again. Ullei's handwriting carved into the wood. We remember them in flavor, not in name. The priest whispered a prayer. The town changed. Doors stayed. Locked. Meals went unfinished. Children played near home only. The sisters vanished. No one found them. The sheriff wrote about lightning. No one argued. The smokehouse ruins remained. Time passed. Vines covered paths. Maps forgot Cypress Hollow. Father Henry left. He carried the journal. He carried the weight. In towns far away, people spoke of a man who traveled alone. He brought dreams, smells, memories of something not forgotten. He stayed nowhere long, but always someone dreamed. They dreamed of teeth, of cellar doors, of stew too rich, of music too slow. And the sisters? Some said they walked through fog. One tall, one small, holding baskets, whispering. Others swore the taste sometimes returned. Nobody taught this tale in school. No statue carved their memory. But in kitchens, by fire, people stopped chewing. Because once you know the taste, you never truly forget.